Hello, welcome back to Lampo Stock. We're going to be doing the next installment of the Commandment, which is Exodus 20 and 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Now, there's another with this verse, Ephesians 6 and 2, which is honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise.
So the promise that comes from this, of course, is that you will have a long life if you do that. But we need to figure out what honor means in order to keep this commandment. So I went to Webster's 1828 dictionary and looked up the word honor, and it means the esteem due or paid to worth, high estimation, dignity, exalted rank or place, reverence, veneration, or an act by which reverence and submission are expressed as worship paid to the supreme being. Reputation, good name, as his honor is unsullied. So basically it means that you are to listen to your parents and do what they say. And remember when you're out and about that you don't do something that would cause your parents to look bad in their eyes.
You know, that used to be the thing when we were kids. We would say that you're not a little person, you're an extension of me. You know, that's what my parents used to say. If you look bad, you make me look bad.
Yeah, and I really liked the Japanese because they had this high standard of honor. Now, they were evil. I mean, let's be real, but I liked the way that they acted. You know, they would kill themselves if they dishonored their family. And, you know, my kids joke around because they saw the movie Mulan and they're like, dishonor on your wife, dishonor on your cow. So it's, you have to treat your parents with esteem and high regard. And no, you can't always obey your parents, because if your parents aren't following the Most High, they may try to get you to do something or want you to do something that goes against him. And of course, that's something you can never do. But at the same token, you have to also understand and realize that you were a planned event by the Most High. Your birth was planned, and who you were birthed to was planned. So if the Most High gave you to your parents, he gave you to them for a reason. You know, I grew up and my parents were not, they were Christians. They weren't, you know, followers in this way. I knew absolutely nothing about it. And even though some of their actions go against the Most High and what it says because of their belief system, they still had a lot of wisdom that I was able to gain, even though they didn't understand the Most High's ways. So it, you know, we want to, you know, I see some Hebrew Israelites who will talk bad about their mother. And I think that's the woman who raised you. And whomever you are, it is because of your parents and what they instilled in you from childhood that has allowed you to get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you have today. And to just completely talk bad about them or to dismiss them because now you know better than maybe they did. Well, yeah, okay, maybe some of the things they said were wrong, or maybe some of the things that they want you to do doesn't have anything to do with the Most High, but And yet, they're the ones who raised you, and he put them in charge of you. So you can't just toss them to the side now that you think you're an adult or you're grown or you're worshiping some other way. Because if my mom calls me up and says, hey, I want you to come do this, then I'm going to jump in the car and go do that. If my dad says, hey, I need this from you, then I'm going to get that for him. And neither one of them are in the truth, even though I be trying. I be trying. They are not in the truth. And like I said, unless they tell me to do something that goes against the Most High.
Yeah, now, that's the other thing too. It is as I'm reading through the Bible, it's the child's responsibility to eventually take care of the parent. And they took care of you when you weren't able to take care of yourself. And then later on, in turn, it'll be your responsibility to take care of them. That's kind of how, if you'll notice, that's kind of how this whole system works. It is a family. It's not just an individual. A lot of the Bible is talking about you individually, but it also talks about your whole family and the respect and honor that you show to the family unit itself.
If we go to Matthew 15 and verse 4, it's talking about the same thing, honoring thy father and mother. It says, for God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. So if you say now, oh, I'm in the truth, or I'm, whatever it is you want to call yourself, and you dishonor your parents, then you're saying that God is a lie, and that what he told you to do makes no difference. So it's everything that the Most High says is important, that you look at it. You can't just pick what you want and pick some and leave the rest. That's what all the heathens do. Because if we go back into the Bible, we know that there was God and there was people, and we know that they had the law because they were destroyed for not following the law. And so everybody has some of the law, and everybody uses bits and pieces of the law. But it wasn't until Abraham came along and God decided to choose our nation, and that we were put under this covenant. Thank you. That we are now in the position that we are. So it doesn't matter where you go, everybody has some. But they picked and chose which ones they were going to live by and which ones they weren't. We can't do that. We don't have that option because we are holy.
Absolutely. Now, I do want to bring up one other point. Some parents are not the nicest people in the world. Okay? And I'm not, you hear of child abuse stories and all kinds of stuff. All right? I'm not saying, I don't, when I read this verse, this doesn't mean that that every parent is perfect in any way, shape, or form, and children should just, their parents are perfect. That's not what it's talking about. That's not what honor means. Taking care of your parent, respecting your parent, those are important points. It doesn't mean that everything the parent is going to do is perfect. And
sometimes the best way you can honor your parents is to get the hell away from them. If you look at Abraham, his father was worshiping many gods. He went and destroyed his father gods, and then he left. He got away because he could not live and stay with his father because his father had just gone off. He had gone wrong, but he didn't go curse his father out, beat him up, mistreat him. He just went away from him.
Yeah, that's an important story. He tried to show him the truth. If you read that story, which is in it's in the Apocrypha where this story talks about Abraham's as a youth before he leaves, and he brings his father, he shows his father the truth, where he basically says, "Hey, you're worshiping idols. This isn't right," and his father doesn't really care. Right? As I can remember the story, his father doesn't change his point of view, but he says, "All right, fine," and he leaves. But he tries to show him this is the correct path here. This is what's going on. And that's part of honor. He does not curse him out. He does not throw rocks at him. He doesn't do any of those type of things. He basically says, "Okay, that's your choice. I understand that. This is the truth." And I
have to go and follow that truth. So you like I said, the Most High gave you your parents for a reason. And even with Abraham and his father, who had went way off, his father saved his life when he was a baby. And someone else probably wouldn't have done that. So you have to take the good and the bad. And remember that in your deeds and actions. And it's not even necessarily for your parents, it's for you. Because if you honor your parents, then you will have a long life. If you don't honor your parents, then death is what's coming.
Yep. Also, you have to remember, in a video we made earlier, we were talking about teaching. If you're honoring your parents, your children are going to see that, and that behavior is what's going to be coming back to you. If you dishonor your parents, disown them, and show them the door, that is going to come back at you. I mean, you are always the teacher to your kids, and you want to be teaching them the correct path. There's a reason why the Bible says, "Honor thy parents," honor thy mother and father, and you'll have a long life. That verse is also talking about your children honoring you.
Yeah, so there's a lot of wisdom in this simple verse that I think is probably overlooked a lot, especially nowadays. People just take their parents for granted. They throw them in nursing homes. They don't, want to spend any time with them because, they're of the past and we're of the now. We are moving forward or progressing, but God doesn't progress. He is the same yesterday, today, and always. So if you are of that progressive type of mindset, then you are not worshiping the Most High. It says, "This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me." That's Matthew 15, verse 8. And verse 9 says, "But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men." So we need to make sure that we are only teaching for doctrine the Most High's commandments, and not all of this extra stuff that people are adding in.
Absolutely. This has been Lamp Oil Stock. Trying to take a look at another one of the commandments in our ongoing series. Hopefully this has been enlightening to you, brought a little something to you. You can find us on YouTube and Black Junction TV. If you enjoyed this, let us know. Leave us a comment, a thumbs up or a down, however you felt about the video.
If you disagree, let us know that as well. My husband seems to forget to say that.
Comment. Let us know what you think. Thank you so very much for spending a little time with us, and have a great day.
Bye.